Size Overrated magazine. Our ambassadors are the faces of Size Overrated at Size Overrated magazine. We are here for you.
Alright, so first we're going to do a reflection of 2019 because we're about to go into a new decade. 2020 is coming up, right? Yeah. So recently, Google did a year in a search where they posted what was the most searched in 2019. And one of the things that was searched the most was R. Kelly. We're going to talk about R. Kelly real quick. We're going right into it. Do you still listen to his music?
I mean, you can't help a catchy tune. It's a catchy tune.
His music is part of the
exactly. Yeah.
His music, y'all can't say.
Yeah.
Some of y'all have to hear.
Yeah. His music is part of the culture. 12 play. I call the pedophile album, but that joke was.
It was hot. It was hot now.
Seems like you're ready. He was singing to a 13-year-old, but that joke still is one of my jams. That joke is still one of my jams.
We can't be all biased.
I'm waiting for your response. Come on, 12 play was a pedophile.
My thing is that when it comes to R. Kelly as a topic, people try to separate his personal lifestyle from his music. So they may not want to deal with him as a person or whatever, but as an artist, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's a genius. He is a genius.
Without him, we wouldn't have heard about Aaliyah. Some careers wouldn't be revived like Charlie Wilson and the Isley Brothers and some of the early female groups in the early 2000s when he was just writing music for everybody, including Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. It's a sad situation, but the saying goes, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
So the same thing that R. Kelly was doing to these young women, someone did to him.
Yeah, because I think I did hear that someone, like an older woman or whatever, molested him, which is a whole nother issue because there's some dirty old women out there, just like there's some dirty old men out there.
And in a sense, I feel like it's shined on him because, of course, he's in the entertainment industry. There's regular Joe Schmoes out here doing the same thing, and nobody catches them because there's not a light shined upon them.
Right.
But for him being who he is, R. Kelly, and I guess the legacy that he left in music, it was kind of like, it finally came out. What he was doing in the dark, it finally came out, and so now people know, and you got to pay for what you do, regardless of who you are and how much money you have to pay for what you do to people.
But you also can't erase the legacy that his music left.
Oh, yeah.
You can't erase it.
Absolutely.
It's there. It's part of the culture.
I just wish, I definitely know, look, God been giving him signs for a long time. I really wish he would have just took heed. At some point, you have to say, okay, I'm tripping. Enough is enough. And I need to go get help, seek counseling, whatever. But at the same time, it's a whole lot of people that's been helping him to basically get in this situation too. Because why are you taking your daughter to an R. Kelly concert and you're a pedophile? For them to help her career, help her do what? He's like, at some point, the blame is put on a whole lot of people along with them as well.
Okay. All right, so moving right along. Then we had Nipsey. It was killed May 31st. Why do you think, well, first of all, what was your reaction when you heard it? And why do you think it was such a big impact in the community?
I heard of it, but I didn't know really, I wasn't into his music that much. I was like, oh, that was Lauren London's boyfriend.
Yeah.
I felt, bad for her, but then everybody was really...
Yeah.
So
I learned about him through that.
Yeah. After that, and I was like, oh, he was doing a lot. I was actually empowered to learn more about him after the fact.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like with anything, and maybe this is just me, if you're doing good, you're not going to hear about it. Mm-hmm. If you're doing good in the community, if you're saving lives, if you're donating money, you're not going to hear about it. Yeah. Especially in the Black community.
Why do you think that is?
Because for so long, it's been, I'm going to push my finger on you so you can't do better than me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you shoot somebody, it's all over the news. It's retweeted. You shot somebody, or you raped somebody, or you stole a piece of candy from the dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
But he only gave $100 million. Oh, what? So what?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not the norm for you to do good, but it's the norm for you to do bad.
And
so
some
bad
people-
news spreads faster.
Some people don't publicize their good.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And then for whatever reason, our community feels entitled for you to do good for them. So it's not like they're going to tell people because they feel like, oh, he gave me $1,000, like you were supposed to get that. Like, you weren't supposed to get that. You know, like, he blessed you with that, so you should be telling everybody about it. But it's still somehow in your mind, you felt entitled to that blessing, so therefore you don't spread it.
And maybe he felt like he didn't need the accolades.
Yeah.
Maybe he just did it from his heart, and the reward was knowing that he did it, not having to be in the limelight.
Yeah, because Tupac did a whole lot of stuff for people, and it wasn't well known.
Okay. So next we have John Singleton. They end up passing away. And so I want to know from each one of you your favorite movie or a favorite line.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, I love Boys in the Hood was the best one.
He has a lot, but that was like his heart was in that movie. Because it was relatable, you know.
John Witherspoon.
Oh man,
He was a legend when that day happened. You know, he's
like
done
everybody's
Boondocks, he's been Boomerang, he's
bang bang
you know,
bang.
he done slapped his own mom because the barbecue was good. Right. You know, like it's just, it was like when we lost him, it was like all of us lost that father piece that we saw within John Witherspoon. And you know, like his legacy will continue as we watch his movies and watch certain things that were influenced by him as a person. So it was sad to see him go, but we know he's in a better place.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
Honestly, I love Lizzo, but just the past thing that she just did.
Yeah.
It's a time and place for things. That wasn't a place to do what she did. I love her music.
Yeah. I love her. I love everything that she stands for. It's just that last one was just like,
Yeah. Over the
like,
She tried.
And I feel like this is befitting because as a plus size woman, you have nothing to prove to anybody.
yeah.
Right.
So I'm not out here competing with you, so I'm not going to do the same things that you do. I'm not trying to gain the same followers, people who you have, so I'm not wanting to do that. You can't do the same thing Beyonce does because Beyonce has different followers.
Yeah.
Beyonce has ancient money.
And even Beyonce wouldn't be with her booty on the
So
dirty
it's just, to me, I feel like, yeah, you meant well, you represent well, what you stand for as well, but you made a mistake. But now you're gonna have to work to clean it up because you left us a bad taste in people's mouths.
Right.
So. No comment.
Like you said, wrong place, wrong time. It's always good to express yourself or whatever, but you do have to, at that type of status, as far as being a celebrity, you really just have to watch what you do because you are in the public eye of everything.
Right.
Especially, you know, at an NBA game.
And kids were right there.
You know, kids is right there, and you wearing a thong and you raw butt cheek in stadium seats. It's like, why?
Yeah, Prince
Well,
is
what's
the
the
person that can
point?
get away with that. Right.
Okay, but on the flip side of that, I honestly think that she's in a place in her life where she's at a transition where like she's used to just doing what she wants.
She is.
And she probably didn't even realize that it would, like, you know how you think you do something. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, just before that happened, there was the incident when, she had ordered some food.
Yes.
And the delivery lady couldn't find her room or something had happened. And I don't know the facts behind it, but something she said to her, or there was a conversation on the phone and she was rude to her, and the girl ended up getting fired or something, like, because of her status. Like, she doesn't realize that she has this following, that she has the status and the things that she does being looked
then-
at so, and then she's being scrutinized over that. And I
And
think
then-
it just kind of,
Yeah.
you know, she's just kind of like, oh my God, y'all need to get off my back.
Yeah,
You know,
then when
like-
that picture she had carrying that little purse,
Yes.
it was like,
it went viral, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she don't really care.
yeah, she, yeah.
These are,
I don't think she
Okay.
realizes the impact that she has.
But most people in that just all of a sudden get kind of famous like that, they really don't. Like, and fame is a whole nother enchilada, you know, because you got the good people and then you got the vultures that are just waiting to pick away at you. So she's experiencing vulture season right now.
All right, so with 2019 ending, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned this year that you know not to do coming the following years?
Never neglect your mental health.
Amen.
And learning that saying no is okay.
You have to treat your mental health with a priority.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with mental health issues due to my PTSD from Afghanistan 7 years ago, and I was in a denial stage, thinking that I was okay after coming back from where I was at. But then, like, I started to wake up in the middle of the night in cold sweats. I would always have my head on the swivel if I'm in a room full of crowded people. I don't do well with loud noises. And, like, I found myself, breaking down crying, wondering, like, why did this happen to me? But instead of, blaming myself and wondering why or whatever, I decided to seek out mental health counseling, which I am starting to go back next week and stuff, because the holidays can be a beautiful thing, but the flip side is that it's not good for everybody.
Right.
People deal with depression. Suicide rates have increased this year. We just have to pay attention to the signs for those that we care about. Someone cares about somebody in this world. No one is really left alone. And we just have to reach out. We have to know what resources that are available to that individual or to themselves, to make sure that they are in a mental capacity and that they are reassured that you matter to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that's not enough awareness, and it needs to be voiced, it needs to be expressed.
I totally agree, because I'm a masker. I'll say I'm okay, smile, and go on about my business, but in the midst of it all, you do have to check that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to say, no, I need this time. No, I need to get me right, because if you don't take care of you, nobody else will.
Mm-hmm.
And that is mentally important, emotionally important, physically important for you to learn how to say no, learn how to take care of yourself. And if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. You just have to be that way.
Well, I personally think all black people need therapy. I think
Yeah.
it should be free.
Yeah.
And it should just be a weekly. I go every Wednesday at 2:15. So I know with all of our, I used to work for a therapist when I was in college, and I used to sit and look at all of the people walking in there like, oh, like they need therapy, and they'd be like, oh, well, my dad didn't spend enough time with me, and blah, 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 blah. And then I got to thinking like, shit, you don't even know your dad. What the hell makes you think you don't need therapy? So, like we all, as some, especially, in our culture, it's just so many things, hard things that we go through, hard things that we see that is just so normalized. It's normalized, when your family is fighting and carrying on. It's normalized when everybody hell raising. Everything is just so normalized, and it's like, but ain't none of that normal, So it's definitely, normal to go talk to somebody that is not going to tell your business. Because I've had bad experiences where you confiding in a friend, and the next thing the other friend that you was talking about is literally repeating the same conversation that you told to this friend. So one thing about a therapist, they license. They can you can sue them if they tell your business. So you got somebody that you don't have to worry about telling any of your secrets, to anybody else. So that's what I like about it.
And I'll say, and I know you said in our culture, but to me, it's everybody.
It is everybody.
Because there's
It's-
bullying in school.
Yeah.
It's just so much to the point where dysfunction is the norm.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell somebody I need help, I'm weak.
Yeah.
If I tell somebody I need some help, then they know my family business, or they know my secrets. And people have to be okay with saying I need help.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the generation coming up behind us, the generation becoming up them, social media has set the standard of what is okay. Oh, I don't have to tell nobody. I'm just gonna go pump something through my veins. I'm gonna go get drunk. I'm gonna go get high. Or I'm gonna do this challenge and jump off a building. You know, and that ties back to mental health. It's not just us.
Oh,
it's
definitely
everybody.
not. Yeah.
It's like little kids. I saw something the other day. A 5-year-old hung himself because somebody bullied him in school.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're just less likely to get down because, like I said, it's like, oh, well, you go to church, pray about it. It's like, yeah, you need Jesus and you need some therapy and maybe a prescription too. It's all of it is okay. Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you all, like, they've been, putting emphasis on mental health in the Black community. So I was going to say, why is that such an emphasis now? Is it because of something where, like, back in the day, there's just something that wasn't talked about in the household?
Yeah,
What is it?
What happens in the house is kind of like what happens in this house stays in the house.
Black people didn't see no
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We all right.
Yeah.
Go suck it up.
And I mean, have gone through some traumatic things. And it's just like,
and you better not talk about
yeah, and you didn't go talk to anybody about, like, well, what made you think that you could handle that on your own? And it's just like, well, I prayed about it. Yeah, like,
and it's unresolved.
Yeah,
it goes unresolved, and I guess the focus is on the Black community because that's what's seeming to die. Somebody's always getting shot, or somebody's killing somebody because they kirked out, or it's just they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So
they call it unresolved trauma.
Yeah,
it's trauma. That those unresolved mental health issues that we have is unresolved trauma, then we react to it in violent ways.
Yeah. Because when they were kids, somebody laughed at you because you felt a certain way, so then you had to suppress. Oh, I was having a bad day, so I cried, and somebody joked me. So now instead of crying and dealing with it, I'm gonna harbor it.
Yeah.
And that's where it happens because of course, most Black people don't have insurance. And the doctors don't take the Medicaid or the low income insurance, so there's not really free help for anybody. If it's free, they're not going to give you the best care because you're wasting my time. I got to sit here and give you an hour and I'm not getting paid for it.
Exactly.
So you're not going to get the best help that you can get. So I guess it's focused because now we need to come together. We need to say, hey, it's okay. Take your time, do what you need to do. And if you don't understand it, then maybe you don't need to be in my circle.
Exactly.
That's why learning, like, you have to learn how to say no, and it's okay to. You weren't really my friend anyway. Yeah. So, even family, come on.
Yeah.
If it's costing me, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Seriously, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive.
Exactly.
Girl, that is a word.
So for the people that still have that mom mentality of what stays in this house or what happens in this house stays in this house because it's been passed on, because now we're in a new generation where things are supposed to be more open, but you still have the ones that still have that same mom mentality. What would you say to those folks, especially if they got kids or if they just dealing with stuff themselves? What would you say to people like that don't want to come out and express themselves, but you know that they're dealing with trauma, but they just don't want to talk about it?
It's gonna come out one way or the other.
Yeah.
Which way do you want it to come out?
Yep.
You want it to come out through your children, through them acting out in certain ways. You want them to become violent? Do you want them to become depressed? Do you want them to have anxiety? Do you want it's gonna come out in one way or other. It may not come out through you.
Yeah.
But it's gonna come out through them. They're gonna act it out in their lives as adults.
Take their lives.
Or take their lives. They're gonna become dysfunctional adults. They're gonna become depressed adults. Because when it sits and it's unresolved, it comes out of you one way or the other.
What's in the dark comes out in the light.
And I'll say it because I was actually the first one in my family to not keep secrets, and then I was frowned upon. I was like, I'll say I was married to my husband, and the whole time he was married, he assumed that my children were his. I never told him any different. But I told my children, and then when I told my children and I told my mom, I said, I would have taken that to my grave. No, because something could have happened traumatically. First of all, it was killing me because I was keeping this from him. Second of all, he already knew. He just never said anything. And second of all, I don't want my kids to ever say, well, I heard this from somebody else. You heard it straight from my mouth.
Yeah.
That way, it's already out. Nobody can say anything to me. And now my children and I have a relationship where no matter how big, how bad, they come tell me everything. I didn't have that same relationship with my mom. I felt like if I tell my mom something, she's going to smack me or kill me. Mm-hmm. But now my kids, I might be like, oh, why you just tell me this? But, you know,
yeah,
they know they can come to me for anything. And I don't want that to keep going, where you hide it and you're dealing with it. And yeah, they were mad at me for about a month. And then they realized, hey, you really told us that? Yeah, I told you that. Mm-hmm. I told you while you were little because it might hit you differently when you were an adult.
Yeah.
Now you've had time to process it. Now you know how to deal with it. And I really don't care what anybody else thinks. I just care about what y'all think. So, yeah, you just move on from it.
I think there's a certain cycle of anger that evolves through the black community from generation to generation. Mm-hmm. I'd say that, especially from me being a man and growing up without my father being in the household, and I didn't understand as a child because all I was supposed to do was just play and go to school or whatever. I didn't know that my father was in the army. I didn't know that my mom and my father were going through a divorce and stuff. And it was like when it came to parent-teacher conferences, I would look around and I would see, certain students that had both of their parents, and I'm like, well, why not me?
Yeah.
So that was something that I had to deal with as I got older. My father was still present, but he wasn't there the way I wanted to, and I wanted to be selfish. Mm-hmm. I wanted both my mom and my father to be in the household, but as I got to experience love and relationships, things just don't work out. Some things are sometimes you just gotta love people and not be with them. Mm-hmm. That was something that I had to get over and erase that anger, because I didn't want it to flow to my son, who's now 9 years old, and he's starting to ask questions and everything. And now I have to be that teacher for my son, as well as my son's mother has to be that teacher for him. It's just something that we have to communicate and not harbor, because these are important topics that we just don't talk about enough. Mm-hmm.
So what are you all trying to gain, and what's your ultimate goal pretty much in life?
To be a success story, because you're gonna tell about your life to somebody, whether it be immediate family or friends or somebody that you walk across every day, just in your everyday life. You run into somebody, and something that you went through, whether it be positive or negative, is going to be a testimony to somebody else. And I think once all this is over, once I retire from the military or whatever, I want to sit down and tell my son about how your father saw the world, and at the same time how much he loved you, and why I did what I had to do to make sure that he was cared for.
My goal, I want to be like the Nipsey Hussle of my community. I have a big plan big economic plan to help my community that I'm working on now. So ideally, I want to be like the face of that, of economic growth and accomplishment in the urban community. I'm really fed up and tired of just seeing the shit that I see, and it's not that complicated to get ourselves out of the rut that we're in, but it's going to take us to do it. We can't look at the white man to come and save us, because he's not. We at some point we have to do it ourselves. Stop selling your grandmama house. Stop moving out of your community. Sometimes you got to stay there and rough it out to actually help the people that really need to be helped. So that's kind of like what I'm working on.
Okay.
And ideally, I want to be like the plus size sex symbol. That's my goal. I want to be the plus size pin up girl.
Okay.
I
think I'm actually there though, because I have so many girl size, well, women, and they're not all plus size, but you seen the size spot. I want to just keep doing it. I don't want to get somewhere and don't help them, because girls be like, what you help everybody? Trust me, I put myself first, and I learned. I'm still doing for me, but there's nothing wrong with helping nobody else. It's not. But I learned recently very much, so you can't help everybody. You can't.
If you give everybody bricks, how you gonna do it?
I know.
Yeah.
That's my goal. It's on entrepreneurship. I want to be my own boss. I want to make my own schedule. I want to vacation 3 times a year, maybe 4. And I just want to leave something so my kids don't have so hard of a life to live. Yeah. And pray they don't try to kill me off for my insurance policy.
Right. Look, thank God you got insurance.
Oh yeah, I have a policy on them too, but you know, cause they're crazy.
Cause that's another thing I'm trying to get us to do. You know you dying, right? You know there is gonna be a day that you gonna die. Why are you not prepared?
And it's better to get it right. I got mine when I was 21.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I tell you. Like, get it young, and then you got a cheap premium that you could just pay on. And ideally, I want to get something where it's like to help with, you know, if you know you fall on hard times, you have a resource where, you know, we can help you pay your premiums until you get back on your feet. However, when that thing goes out, we gonna get our money first that you owe us, because I don't want no trouble. But yeah, just more kind of like wealth development in, you know, in our culture that we don't have. Cause it's like, you know, we had a church member that just passed away, and his wife had to get on Facebook like, well, he ain't have insurance, so we gotta have. I'm like, that's embarrassing.
And I tell my kids, burn me up.
Yeah, like put me in a bag or something. Like, don't waste get on Facebook with
burn me up and split me in half.
I need money for Big Mama's funeral. Don't do that.
Just do the whole Black Panther thing with me. Just bury me in the ocean where my ancestors jumped from the ships because they knew death was better than bondage.
Lord, you gonna stay in Wakanda?
Yes,
For me, I just want to continue to inspire other women to just, you know, reach for their dreams. That's all. Nothing fancy. Because that's what I decided to do. I said I got tired of this rut called life and being depressed and being in this little hole. I came out of the hole and said I'm going to start doing things that I want to do.
Yeah.
For me. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing things I never thought I'd be out here doing. I hear modeling and carrying on and just living my best life and going to continue to do that.
I say a cross between Sinead Day and Naomi Campbell. I'm a model.
Yeah, and I'm trying to feel the same way, just to inspire people.
Yeah, that's all.
The sky's not even the limit. The sky's not even the limit. You can surpass that. You don't have to just live to other people's standards. Create your own standards. Make your own.
Exactly what I'm doing.
You know, break all the barriers that people try to put on you. Get out of the box. Just live life every day, and do your best to be the best you can be. That's all. Yeah.